You have to get parliamentary permission to build the line across private people's land, and a lot of the line was planned to go over the land that was owned by the Duke of Cleveland, who lived in Raby Castle. And unfortunately, the Duke was a big fan of fox hunting. He loved to go out of his castle of a morning and chase his foxes, and he feared that if a nasty, dirty, rattling, steamy, clanky train went careering across his land, it would scare his foxes away and he would have nothing to go out and chase. So he set about trying to derail the Stockton and Darlington Railway. He tried in Parliament as the bill was going through committee stages. He packed it with his pals who were other landowners who didn't like the idea of industry coming to their land, and so they were quite happy to try and vote down the line. And then when that didn't work, he set about what I consider to be quite dastardly means, because he realised that he was going to derail the railway. The best way to do it was to cut off its supply of cash, which meant bankrupting the bank that was bankrolling the railway, which was Backhouse Bank. And in those days, you were able to change a £1 note or a £5 note into £5 of gold bullion. So he ordered all of his tenants in Teesdale to collect all the Backhouse's banknotes they could get their hands on, and then unannounced he was going to go to High Row and demand there and then that all the banknotes are changed into gold bullion, knowing full well Backhouses wouldn't have that much gold in their vaults, so the bank would go bankrupt, the railway would be derailed, and the foxes would live happily ever after for him to go out and chase whenever he wanted. Jonathan Backhouse, the head banker, he got wind of this dastardly plan and he dashed down the Great North Road to London. He went around the Quaker banks, collecting as much gold as he could, piling it into his horse and carriage, and then he dashed up the Great North Road towards Darlington. At Croft Bridge, which is 3-4 miles outside Darlington, one of the wheels comes off his wagon, and so he grinds to a halt. Now you have to imagine this is real drama going on here, because the Duke of Cleveland's agent is walking along High Road towards the bank. He's got a great big bag full of banknotes. He's about to bankrupt the bank, and poor old banker man Jonathan is stuck on Croft Bridge. But he's a very resourceful banker. He looks at his broken carriage and he realises that if he takes the gold bullion off the broken front axle and piles it onto the good rear axle, it will raise the broken one off the ground. And so he does that, and holding on, kind of doing a wheelie, he clings to his carriage and he dashes the 3 miles into Darlington, and he's there, sitting there with a pile of gold. When the agent walks in, he changes all the banknotes into gold bullion, and he has just a little pile of gold left at the end of this, and he says to the agent as he retreats out of the door carrying the gold, he says, if thy master will sell me Raby Castle, I will pay for it with the same metal, which is a wonderful way of sticking 2 fingers up at the nasty lord.